Alrighty, this is another week recap, the final week of October. What the fuck? I don't know why I said October. Dang, what is it? April, yeah. April going into May, so starting off from the 27th of April all the way up until the 1st of May. So, pretty midweek, not gonna lie. Pretty midweek. There's some decent setups I liked, but overall just a pretty midweek. So, I'm gonna briefly go over this. So, here's the first setup that got presented. Alright, so here at this point in time, right? We've already manipulated lower. You can see we've taken out London low, we've taken out Asia low, which is that higher time frame sell side I was looking for. We had an untapped hourly that we failed to hit. So one thing I was kind of skeptical about, but once we got a push out of there, we respected this 15-minute. Also respected this other hourly that we were inside of, this huge hourly. What else? We do have an hourly BPR that's holding up here, so I'm not really bullish in the higher time frame sense, but we do have like the perfect targets to the buy side right here. So we have 930 swing up here. We failed to take this high, making sort of relatively equal highs. Just more stacked highs. This is a 930 wick right here, and then right here is an untapped hourly right there. So it's a little bit below. So, but what else? What else do we have? Well, after we get this reaction up here, this looks extremely bullish, but there's really just no entry. It's way too much in premium at this point in time. In inverse, maybe down here would have been much more better, but it's just way too high up, in my opinion. So we do retrace. We have a 2-minute and a 3-minute that we tap into. We generate equal highs up here. Still chopping, generate more equal highs, and then now we have a nice, decent sized flush. It's not a crazy manipulation or anything like that, but it looks cleaner than what this looks like, right? We hit EQ of this range. We get a 1-minute IFEG to the upside. Now I do absolutely love this. We have perfect targets up here. I see no reason for us to go lower. The only possible reason is to resweep this low and hit this hourly, but at that point, like, we might as well just dump more because there's no way we don't want to come up here, take this out before then, running lower. So that's pretty decent setup, I would say. We also inversed on ES. We have this tiny 1-minute inverse, but I don't really care about that. It looks pretty whack to me, but I mean, man, this setup looks really good. It's classic AMD. You can clearly see the accumulation right there. Very clean manipulation, actually taking a higher time frame Q level out. And then, yeah. Not too sure why this did not hit. We kind of just chopped up here. Eventually hit stop loss. My stop was right there, so I got out. Or I got taken out earlier, but I guess you could just see the price action and know to go break even a little bit earlier, like at this trend line. Once we start developing this, that should have been my cue to get out. But I mean, I guess it just really depends on your conviction in this trade, because we do have a set of equal highs up here that I was pretty confident that we would take out. So I was, that seems like a really reasonable break even point. So to be honest, the outcome of this trade entirely depends on how much conviction you have, whether you go break even or not at the low resistance getting generated or the equal highs getting swept. That was pretty much the only thing. We did give another pretty clean entry, rejecting out of this BPR. Nice IFEG. It just happened way too much in premium at that point in time. Did hit the break even point at this point in time, so if you did take any of that, that would have been a break even. And then some more chop. I'm so fucking tired. Alright, I know we got another setup here. Okay, right here off this IFEG here. Looks decent, nice wicks. Resweep this low. Believe we have an SMT. Yep, SMT right there. And I think this is the one that actually delivers. Oh my gosh, this price action is insane. Yep. So pretty unfortunate, just got caught up in the chop. Another way to, determine if you're gonna go break even or not is just looking at here. Let me bring this back to at least the point where we hit, and then go on the chart. There we go. 15-minute kind of looks whack, but of course that 1-minute chart looked pretty clean and smooth to me, or at least that manipulation leg and the distribution higher. The 15-minute chart is kind of meh. The 5-minute chart is really meh. It looks really chopped here, but Yeah, anyways, on to the next day. So we got Tuesday, the 28th. Alright, let's see all the setups we had. Okay, so coming into the day, let me actually bring this back to market open because this is one where I have to kind of go in further detail. So we have, let's go in the hourly actually. Alright, very clear. We have a break of structure here, inverse these gaps. We even inverse this hourly right here, this final gap until we hit the sell side. So this is the very clear and obvious target for the day. We have sell side, and then we have the new day opening gap from the previous week, which is also a BPR. Very, very, very good target. And of course, I'm going to be looking for that today. We've already manipulated into the hourly prior to market open. So in terms of setups, I could probably only think of a resweep of these highs, or hitting this 15-minute up here and then going lower, or if we just run lower, look for some sort of continuation out there. Yeah. Market opens, manipulate. Well, we manipulate right before market open. We get this Judah swing resweeping this high. We don't get any entry here. There are 2 5-minutes though, which I would have loved to take if we inverse them, but never actually inverse them. Give a huge rejection to the upside, and of course I'm not going to be bullish if we have sell side and new day opening gap below here, unless we get confirmation that we're going to go higher, okay? Now, we do hit this 5-minute BPR that's up here, right there. We hit that 15-minute and resweep this high, and we present a pretty valid 30-second here. This looks really solid, very, very clean. Solid-ass candles, Break-even point could have been this low here, or you could have just waited, for this untapped 5-minute below here. Because at this point in time, we've already kind of ran up high enough to where at this point I'm thinking, all right, well, we do have a pretty huge rejection wick here, about 70 points. And at this point, we're also getting closer to this low resistance up here. We also have more low resistance up there. We have an untapped 4-hour and hourly right there. Still not generated yet. We still have about like 10 minutes at the time of this trade to hit that. But yeah, if we have this 5-minute, this is then going to become a condition for me. So if we inverse this, I can then look to take shorts back down, targeting the sell side and New England opening gap. Or if we respect that, I can, longs are completely reasonable to me. Yeah, we give this 30-second, kind of chops up here a little bit, and then delivers very, very smoothly. Not really sure. This is kind of dangerous for me just because we already failed to get a short here, huge rejection here, and we already just came too much up here to the point where I'm like, this is pretty risky. But the only reason I would personally take this play is because of this 5-minute. But other than that, if I'm looking to target the sell side after this huge rejection wick again, I would wait for further a higher time frame confirmation setup, such as this 5-minute right there, which ended up getting break even. We also barely inversed the 5-minute, didn't look too smooth. We did not inverse the 3-minute or the 2-minute, which is really, really weird and skeptical. We also had this huge 1-minute that you also had to wait for, so it was pretty risky. I stayed out of it, but if you did take that, it would have been break even. We have relatively equal lows there with an untapped gap. As you can see, there's relatively equal lows. Untapped 1-minute and untapped 2-minute. So that would have been break even. So already we've presented 2 setups, right? 30-second short, which played out, and then the 5-minute short, which got break even. And then also considering, like, again, we failed to get this short, which was pretty obvious. A pretty obvious, I don't want to say obvious, but it was a major bullish sign. And it's pretty scary if you're looking at short here. So we've already got 2 short setups. Like I said, one played out, one didn't. At this point in time, you should already be done. I took a riskier play, rejecting out of this order block right there. Also, just the 5-minute failing and all. And I took this 3-minute, which was pretty shit. We took a while to inverse it, and just looking at this, it's just the biggest pattern trade ever. But what I did really like about it was that we had low resistance up right here. I really thought we could at least hit this first point. Break even was at the high of this candle, which was at a protected high because we did reject it of an hourly BPR, order block, all that good stuff. So that was a pretty dumb and risky trade, which should not have been taken. But yeah, just quickly wanted to go over that. I mean, at this point in time, it does make much more sense for us to run up and hit this low resistance. I don't know why we did all that, but anyways, on to the next day. We got Wednesday. This is the last day we actually get a setup. Everything else is just nonsense. see what setup we got. Even this was kind of a weird looking setup. So market open. We have very clear targets. We have equal lows here on Asia at Asia low. All right, we have equal lows, which is Asia low. We already took out London. We do have equal highs up here. The obvious target is just Asia / equal lows. That's the very, very obvious target. So we'd be looking to take something like that. But once we take this out, I can definitely look for longs. Huge manipulation lower. We ended up taking the sell side, which also hit an untapped hourly in a 15-minute. Or it's not untapped hourly, but still. Hit this hourly, like I said, and then the 15-minute. And again, we've already seen this on, I think on Monday, where we edged this low here. Not really edged, but we fell short of it. About less than 20 points, maybe around 15. But yeah, along here would look beautiful. All right, we have equal highs up here. We have exact equal highs up here. Just overall, good bunch of liquidity right there. We have London high, which is also the daily. And yeah, playing this out. Okay, now we actually edged that low right there, but we don't really provide an entry. There's not a 30-second or anything right here. That would have been really, really nice, but we didn't get that. So at this point in time, we have a 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, fucking 5 minute, you name it, man. We got everything. So it would be smarter to wait for this 5 minute. And by the time we get that 5 minute, pretty unfortunate, but we end up hitting this 5 minute BPR all the way up. Okay. So yeah, we chop up for a while, huh? So we hit this 5 minute BPR up here by the time we get the 5 minute. And at this point, we're already in a 15-minute, and the only thing I could possibly think of is waiting for a 15-minute continuation, because taking an IFEG all the way up here, so high in premium, also hitting a very key level right there is pretty dangerous. That's one of the most dumb decisions you can do. See, yeah, you would have got stopped crazy here. Now, I would have loved to take a long here if we got it. Once we hit this 5 minute, we didn't get that, didn't take anything. The 1 minute chart looks really ugly. But we do give this 5 minute short. I personally don't like this. You're long or you're shorting against equal highs, multiple sets of equal highs, lots of low resistance. I don't know if they call it low resistance, but it's just, like I said, a good bunch of liquidity, right? All stacked up. And here you're pretty much targeting a protected low. I mean, we already manipulated into a key level. The only reasonable, not even reasonable, the only thing I can see is someone saying about this is, oh, we have an untapped hour. But this is just, I don't even know how to put this into words. You just tell this is protected, even though we didn't hit it. It's majorly protective just because of this manipulation like here. So I am not looking for shorts whatsoever at all. Of course, those shorts failed. Now chop up for a good while, and then we end up inversing this 5 minute BPR. And I don't know why, but it waited till last second to inverse it like that. If you look at the 15-second chart, we're down here, and then boom, we've just fucking run up. Now I would have taken this if I had this. I saw this happen, but I didn't see it, forming. So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna take it. And then boom, out of nowhere, this shit just happened. But this is a perfect ass trade. Your stop could have been anywhere. The body of this candle seems reasonable. Maybe a little bit under this order block right there on the 1 minute. But we have equal highs up here. Relatively equal highs as well, and like I've went over this, I said this like multiple times already, but we have just the equal highs. It's just so fucking obvious, man. We have this nice 5 minute wick right there, looks pretty attractive. I thought it was a data wick, I guess not, it's just something on the 1 minute, but yeah. This played out crazy. Now granted, if I did take this, most likely would have gotten break even here. Once we took these equal highs out, went back, retraced this 1 minute. Even if I did, right, even if I did let this breathe, and I was like, I'll give this room to breathe, I think we can, run higher. Let's see. This did hit over 1-to-1. I don't know. I don't know if I would have got break even, because there's very slight times where instead of going break even, I trail my stop loss in profit. So I really don't know, but yeah, man, that hit like a motherfucker. But we did edge London high. I have no clue why. I have literally no clue why we did that. Excuse me. We just fell so short of this just to not hit it. Maybe we hit it here? I think we just dumped lower. I don't really remember. Okay, yeah. No, looking at that. So that's Wednesday. Now Thursday, we don't really get much, but I'll still go over these last 2 days. All right. So market open. First thing I see is we are in a way rejecting out of this hourly BPR. Hasn't got inversed yet, but we don't know that. We gotta wait for market open to see what NQ has in plan. But so the first thing I can see is, like I said, this key level, this hourly BPR. Now in terms of DOL, we have an all-time high up here. I personally do not like trading to that strictly because of this BPR. I would like to see this get inverse, and I bet $1 million that by the time we inverse this hourly BPR to the upside, we're already going to take out London. Not London, all-time highs. Now we do have, excuse me, what the hell? We do have some low resistance right here. Pretty nice trend line, which is also an untapped hourly. Very, very nice. I love that target. So already just looking super bearish. I just want to see a continuation model short or lower. And yeah, market opens. We just have a huge dump. Look at that 5-minute candle. Holy smokes. So we already take out some of this low resistance here. Take out all of it. Hit the hourly. We maybe could have possibly gotten along. This is just retarded though if we get along. I mean, the only possible thing is just aiming for EQ of the range, and even at that, if we get along, it's man, that shit's nothing, bro. There's no point in longing here. All right, the only thing you can do is short towards this London low. That's it. We already took out this DOL, which was perfect DOL in my opinion, but we already took that out. Now we did have an SMT at this high, which was a 5-minute for rally gap. All right, ES hit the 5-minute, and Q did not. I think we presented this 1 minute. Yeah, we did present a 1 minute, but we also had a 2 minute, which ended up getting rejected out of. But later on decided to close, and entry was scuffed. The break-even point was way too close. I don't know. We've already dumped like crazy. All right, overnight from Asia all the way to London, we've dumped 430 points. Now from London up until this morning, we've pumped 368 points, and then from this morning around market open all the way down until now 260, or 290. Was that 290? Yeah, 290, 380. It's already over 500 plus. We've bounced around like almost 1,000 points already, so I'm likely not looking to take anything, but yeah, this just doesn't look too A plus to me. Like, I could definitely see this working out, but just, man, does end up delivering, gets edged. All right, TP would have gotten edged, would have got break even. Saved my sanity, but yeah. Damn, we're just doing a lot of edging, but ends up hitting London low. That's the only possible setup I could see happening. Yeah, I mean, really that's it. We have that sell side right there. We'll go ahead and play out the rest of the day. And we bounce back up off of that. Wow, it's insane. I don't know how there's so much volatility. Now, for the last day, this is going to be very, very quick. All right. The only possible play I could have seen being taken is the pre-market play. Now, rejected out of this 1 hour BPR right here. All right, we have equal highs, we have London highs, equal highs, London high, Asia high, which is all-time high. Let's see, this is the only play. So we do get this rejection out of a 15-minute. All right, nice rejection out of a 15-minute. End up inversing the 15-minute, but we give a 5-minute entry right there. Possibly happened at the same time, but this was the pre-market play I saw. I think, yeah, we hit this 5-minute. Clean-ass 1 minute up here. I feel like I would have taken this for sure if we had a rejection wick on this candle here. I usually don't trade pre-market, which is, of course, why I didn't take that. I was sticking to my rules, but I would have leaned really, really bullish if we, well, I was already bullish regardless, but I wasn't really going to take the risk until it's pre-market. But if we had a wick right there, man, that would have been a different story. Yeah, right before market open, we already take the equal highs and the London highs, and then market opens, we just pump. All right, we just pump. That's all we do, pump. Really nothing much else to say here. That's about it. Let's go to the 5-minute, just play out what happened. So we get a 5-minute right there. Of course, there's no trade. If we have a fucking 200 plus point move up and then like a 50-point retrace, that's insane. But yeah, there's really just nothing else you could have possibly taken here. That's gonna wrap it up for the week. Now, briefly go over every single setup here. Starting off with, going way too back. Monday. All right, this was really one of my favorite setups I saw this week besides Wednesday's trade. Um, this was just really, it looked really textbook to me. I feel like the only problem I can see here is just the shitty PA. Looks a little chopped. The 1 minute, the manipulation on the 1 minute looks really, really nice here, but I mean, it's just really, really just chop work. We did hit a decent level here, 0.5 of this range. Tapped into multiple different time frame for value gaps, gave the IFEG to the upside, great targets to the buy side. This is honestly not even a bad loss. I'm not even mad I took this. Now Tuesday, we just go over here. Failed to give a short. We saw this 30-second. I liked it a lot, but you know, too risky. Now by the time we got the 5 minute, it looked really shit. Stayed out of that, and I took the 3 minute long, which was bullshit. I hate the fact that I took that. I literally despise myself for that. Should have been a no trade day. Now Wednesday, this was probably one of the most A plus and just trade that had the most conviction in. 2 sets of equal highs here. 5 minute BPR break. Beautiful manipulation lower into these higher time frame PD arrays and DOLs and whatnot. Thursday, pretty obvious targets. We end up hitting all of it within the first 5 minutes of market open. We give a very mid short model here, but I mean it did play out. You would have gotten break even, but it did play out, hitting London low. After that, there's just too much volatility that's already happened in this day, so there's really no point in looking for anything. And then Friday, we have the most banger ass continuation long towards the perfect DOL, and then we just bull run. We do all of that before market open, and then bull run and give nothing. So that's gonna be it for this week. We'll see what this first full week of May has in store, and yeah, it's gonna be it. Peace.